Hello, my friends, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Mine has been ruined immeasurably by the recent release of the new D&D images. They're just, well, we're going to get into that. First, I wanted to start off with a little bit of a laugh. You see here, and this will be funnier as we go along, for those of you who don't know. This fellow's Secrets of Blackmoor. Just going to post this graphic here as bait to see if Wizards of the Coast finds it and then trains their AI on it to make art for the monster manual. Oh, I need to brew some orc coffee now. And here you see some Café de Colombia. I'm going to apologize ahead of time in the event I try to pronounce anything Spanish. But moving on. Drunken Armadillo Press. I guess this is more of the player handbooks art, including the Mexican Orcs. Remember when D&D book art showed badass battles and monsters and not a bunch of gay shit? And here you have a bunch of Mexican orcs. You see they're falconing. The fat one has a falcon. This one has the awesome side shave haircut and a very weird axe for some reason. This guy's wearing a poncho. This guy's wearing an interesting hat. I wouldn't call it a sombrero, but it's quite close. And they're obviously in a southwest setting. I mean, those are straight up fucking cactuses in the back and in foreground. And he appears to be picking prickly pears. This is apparently the something about characters. They look very adventure-y. We'll go with that. This image I actually don't hate. It's probably of the four the best. I mean, at least it gives you the sense of a marketplace and people hanging out together. But at the same time, is this AI? Look at this shoulder into that arm. I know there has been accusations of them using AI art, but I hadn't really looked that closely. But looking at this arm and the way those hands bleed together. Hold on, we gotta zoom in. Hold on. Yeah, that doesn't look right. Her arm looks too short. So unless maybe they're saying she's this, I don't know. That's, okay, that's fucked up. And then you have baking dwarves. A dwarf who has baked what I'm going to assume is his boyfriend some rolls and brought him to them at the forge. And the cat followed, is the story this picture's telling me. Because we all know the dwarves are so well known for their baked goods. Anyway, here you see Kevin Lamb has posted that new chapter on weapon mastery shows a character holding an axe like that. And by like that, he means like a choked up baseball bat. I don't believe that's the right grip, but hey, what do I know? At least nothing looks like it's AI on this one, though I wouldn't put it past them. Earlier in the day, Grums had tweeted what's going on with D&D, and Thor Odinson pulled out this old quote from an article came out, I think it was a couple years ago if I recall. This Kyle Brinks fellow, the Wizards of the Coast's executive producer, I don't know if he's been retired. I would have to look that up. I get the feeling somebody at the top left, but I don't remember specifically who. He said there's been a mistake made in years past where people assumed that D&D players were all, white dudes in a basement, which has been a faulty assumption for a lot of years and gets more and more false every day. And so in my viewpoint, honestly, guys like me can't leave soon enough for this hobby. Totally ignoring the fact that at least one woman, actually a few different women, were what helped write so much of this and many of the books that people love so much. But hey, what do I know? I've just been playing D&D since I was old enough to hold a dice. Moving on, because I don't really want to get pissed off at that guy too much. We have another meme, because these things are making me giggle. There are a lot of really good ones. You have Drunkards and Dragons. This is Wizards of the Coast in a nutshell when it comes to the latest fiasco. Kyle Brink can even fuck up orcs, the most basic monster in Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, I guess maybe he hasn't left. He's apparently still there because he's got Hasbro needs to fire Kyle Brinks, and he's not wrong. Let's take a good look at this image here. Wizards of the Coast be like the problem, the solution. That one is wearing a sombrero. That's funny. This David Guile fellow, again, just something that made me laugh. Mexi Orc racial feature. Pick produce as a bonus action. Yep. Geeky Bugle. Well, he's calling Wizards of the Coast the KKK. D&D 6E. Remember the whole orcs are black and you're racist for not noticing? Well, Grand Wizards of the KKK fixed it by making orcs Mexicans. Yes, because all along they were Mexican. Now, with all the bullshit, I figured it wouldn't be a terrible idea to revisit the actual depictions of orcs throughout the years. Here is an excellent picture from Yo Dano. He posts a lot of really good D&D art. A lot of Jeff Easley, Clyde Caldwell, you know, the greats. Here's some orcs and an evil wizardess, and they're marching out to battle because, you know, women totally aren't part of D&D in any powerful way or anything. And then you have the popular, not gonna lie, this kind of looks like a black guy, but I'm definitely not racist. If you are looking at these creatures and you are seeing other races, the problem is you. I don't care if you're talking about orcs. I don't care if you're talking about goblins. I don't care what you're talking about. If you see something and there is, or read something, and there's some kind of trait, and your mind immediately goes to some specific race out there, you are the racist, not the person who wrote it. The racist is you. You are the one hearing the dog whistle. You are the dog. The idea that orcs were ever racist is so far beyond belief, and just shows how long these tourists have been watching into D&D without understanding D&D. The idea that you need any kind of race to represent black humans. You could play a black human. And as a matter of fact, in most cases, playing a black human would cause absolutely no racism from other humans. Now, a dwarf or an elf might hate you, but it has nothing to do with the skin color. It has to do with the fact that you're a human. Orcs don't need to be black people because black people are already in the game. You just write down on your character sheet, skin color, black. So easy. Oh my God. I also went ahead and did some digging and pulled out, I have 2 first edition monster manuals. I was unaware of that. For some reason, I thought they were 2 different manuals, but no, same thing. Here's the picture of the original orcs in that 1979 edition manual. And there's the cover. Look at this. Look at the cool art. You got the unicorn, you got the flying dragon. It looks hand painted because it probably was. It's very cool. And then the other cover of the other one I have, you know, with the really cool dragon and some Pegasus, and he's breathing fire and he looks awesome. And then here's my 2E book. I probably could have dug out my 3rd edition, but why bother, really? We don't need to go that recent. But here you have a really cool beholder and an angry dragon and some minotaur and a lich, and I don't remember what that guy's called, but he's there too. And that's what the orc looks like in the book. Look at him. If you look at that and you think black person or Mexican, there's something wrong with you. For one, he's green. I don't know any green. Okay, I might know some green people, but they're not human. So that's a separate issue. But all of this has come about, obviously, because the highly anticipated 6th edition books are coming. And now I did pre-look at the webpage. And so, unfortunately, you missed the initial reaction. But we're going to rebuild that reaction slightly by talking first about the cost of the original books. You see here, the 1st edition Monster Manual was $9.95 in 1977. The Player's Handbook was published in 1978. The Dungeon Master's Guide was $15. And this equates to $38.41 and $48.33. Now, this was posted in 2014, so those prices have gone up since then. I do have on the inside of my Player's Handbook, handwritten in it is $12. So that one very well could have been sold for $12, but that may have also been because it was purchased used at the time. 2nd edition, Player Handbook was $20. Dungeon Master's Guide was $18. Monster Compendium 1 was $18, and that was in 1989. So for the 3 of them, it was about $106. Again, that price would have gone up a little. The 2nd edition for the black cover was about $108 altogether. 3rd edition, $30 for the Player Handbook, $30 for the Dungeon Master Guide, $30 for the Monster Manual, and that was in the year 2000. About $122. All 3 and 3.5 were also $30, and approximately $116. 4th edition, not that anybody bought it, $35 each. The essentials, all the extra books you could buy were, $20, $40. The Monster Vault was $30. For everything all together, was about $96.50, but there were a lot of other books. Now, for the digital and physical pre-order of the core rule books, meaning the Dungeons Master Guide, the Player Handbook, and the monster manual, plus apparently a gold dragon mini, and the D&D Beyond gold digital dice set, $179.79. With a supposed, and that's giving you the fucking $180. They want, that's before tax. If you live in one of those states that has sales tax, you're paying more. So not only are they stealing from you by charging an outrageous amount, because they charge you separately for the digital and physical. If you just buy the physical, you don't get the digital. You still have to buy the digital separately, because that's bullshit. You get a digital art book, the gold digital dice, and a digital gold mini. What the fuck is a digital mini? Can someone explain why having a mini, if it's digital, is it really a mini? I mean, at that point, it can be whatever size you want it. You can make it bigger, you can make it smaller. How in the fuck is it a mini if it's digital? Please, someone in the comments explain that to me, because I would love to hear the rationale for this absolute ridiculousness. I mean, a dice skin is bad enough, but a digital mini. Let's take a look at the digital only bundle price. Oh, cool. So for 3 books that aren't real, that they could take from you at any time and change anything within it at any time, which I mean, for me, D&D is not about following the rules as written in the handbooks exactly. The handbooks are supposed to be a guide, an idea that you build off of yourself, not a set in stone that has to be followed to the letter thing. But imagine you're one of those people who likes to follow these things to the letter, and now they're going in and fuck with things because, oh, they didn't like that rule. No. But yeah, this also comes with the digital dice set and the digital fucking mini. Oh, with the closed beta of the 3D virtual tabletop. Just get Tailspire. They're still working on it, but still. So that's $90 for the digital version. Let's see the physical bundle. $150 for the digital bundle. Okay, I will be fair to them in that with inflation, that's only an extra $30 on top of what it used to be. But still, it's a lot of fucking money for the physical books. And you still only get a digital art book and a digital mini. I can't believe that is a thing I have to say. Digital mini. That's going to have me angry for a while. So let's go ahead and take a look at the imagery. I've already looked at some of it. It's awful. Anyway, so here's the art on the covers, and it's seriously just meh. I don't find anything particularly outstanding about it. I could take pictures of the ones I have all day, the original modules, all this shit, and it blows it so far out of the water it's not even funny. Let's see if I can make this a little bigger for you. Here they've got creating a character and some more. It's not the worst artwork I've ever seen, but it's not good either. This one's at least kind of pretty. 12 classes and 48 subclasses. Okay, and at least this guy appears to be holding his axe correctly, so we'll give them that. But what is this art style? And why is he holding his shirt? That's kind of weird. Over 500 monsters. That's a pretty okay looking dude, I guess. New weapons masteries. It's an elf with a stupid ass. What is that haircut? Why are they using all these modern haircuts? New bastion system. Now, I know there were various systems to track keeps and other stuff like this. And try to convince me this is an AI. I won't believe you. There is no amount of convincing you can do that will convince me this isn't an AI generated image. And what is that? Why is there a beholder hot air balloon? Fresh and engaging gameplay. I don't believe it. What in the nine hells am I looking at? Oh my God. Yeah, and they really want to sell you D&D Beyond. That's the entire purpose of this. This isn't about making a fun, engaging game. This is about making you give them money. The Dragons of D&D digital art book. It's a bonus with the pre-order. Hey, look. It's the digital gold dragon mini. Available in the D&D 3D virtual tabletop. So it's a mini for their virtual tabletop. So it's not something that you can physically have. You can only really use it if you use their stupid virtual tabletop. And that's when you get the closed beta too. And that is ridiculous. That is not something that you give somebody as a perk for buying this shit through you. That is something that you I'm not even going to get on that. And the D&D Beyond Gold dice set. Oh my God. Oh, I guess this is 5th edition then? I guess maybe it's not 6e, it's 5th edition. Still, this is so beyond anything. The art is shit. I can only imagine the writing. I am so glad that I have all my old books, that I have all these old modules, that I have people who actually enjoy playing on occasion. I mean, I could definitely use more D&D in my life, but, you know, I take what I can get at the same time. But it's frightening to watch people change these things and the reasons they give you. Reasons like they don't want the big green evil monster to reflect black people anymore. It's instead better if they reflect Mexicans. Make it make sense. But you can't, because it doesn't. I have a hoarded collection of Dragon magazines, of modules, of books that I technically inherited from my mother and father because they played D&D and I played D&D. And they've played D&D with multiple races and types of people and all sorts of things. D&D, to be honest, has always been diverse. And even better is if someone felt it wasn't, they could make something on their own and have their rules, make up their own rules and apply them to the world. That was always and is still the best thing about D&D. This shit is for people with small minds who can't think outside of a box. That is exactly what this is for. These are people who look at things and think everything has to fit in their fucking box. And no, it doesn't. You can make your own box. That was always the point. You could take these rules and make your own box. Yeah, there are some interesting rules, but you don't have to play by them all. You can pick and choose. You can add more. D&D is an experience you can tailor to yourself and the people that you play with. And that is the point. I don't care what somebody else does at their table, because if they're doing something I don't like at their table, I don't have to sit at that table. I can find my own table. I can make my own table. And the idea that something in which you have the freedom to make that choice was ever exclusive is ridiculous. And it's downright depressing people would even think that. But they have to think that because they don't get it. All they see is something they don't understand, thus they think they must be being excluded. They don't understand that it's just a conflict of ideas. They don't understand how to deal with conflicting ideas, because if your ideas conflict with them, then obviously you hate them. You can't just have a different idea. And now I'm getting distracted about these patches on her clothes. They look so wrong. Anyway, the channel has been approved for memberships. I will be getting that figured out in the near future. Thank you again, everybody who watches these videos, who comments, who likes, subscribes. I appreciate that all so much. I appreciate you guys giving me a reason to keep doing this. Having people here I know who might enjoy listening or might enjoy even just yelling because they disagree with my opinion. I like it. I am enjoying it. I'll talk to you guys down in the comments. Thanks. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. If you really liked it, you can feel free to share it around, and I will catch you later.